Hi, sirs. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. You all remember that I brought a video about Rebecca who actually got demonetized because white women massively reported her account and she got demonetized. Her account is still up. To my greatest surprise, they are still trolling her left and right, asking why her account is still up. And guess what? They were calling her ape, calling her monkey, and all that. That is really not a good thing to do. Mind you, Rebecca actually did not do anything to them, right? She only talked about how black women would rather work with white men than white women. So white women became very angry that why would black women choose white men over them, right? And then they became so angry, started reporting her account, and her account got demonetized. So the video that I saw today was not a good one because they were trolling her, calling her names, saying horrible things about her, which is not nice, right? Mind you, the people doing all this are older people. Old people, people's mother, right? And that is really very disgusting that people come out to do things like that. And this also clears the fear black women always or do have working with white women. So now you all are telling on yourselves, right? Because if you all could get her account demonetized and still going around trolling her, so what more do you want us to say?
Black woman, you are the one they've tried to imitate. Black woman, you are the voice of faith and the voice of fate. Black woman, they know you can destroy as well as you create. Black women, do not try to entertain their mediocre race. No, black woman, because you can run faster, you might as well run farther. Yeah, black woman, if you can stand prouder, go ahead, smile, unbothered. Black woman, you will constantly achieve and exceed all their expectation. Black woman, if you don't know it by now, you are the reason for their hesitation. Black woman, you too have forgotten you are mother of all. Black woman, because they don't uplift you, watch how they shall fall. Black woman, stop trying to carry the weight of their sickened world. Black woman, remind them your name is God and no, they can't call you girl. Black woman, they need to hear your war cry. Black women, you must let all of them down before you let us die. Black women, we are the reset. Black women, we are the revival. Black woman, you are the author of creation. Do not let them teach you survival. Black woman, you pick your head up. Don't you ever bow. Black woman, your time has always been, and it is still now. Black woman, do not let them try to dumb you down in their conversation. Black woman, you are the most educated demographic in the nation. Black woman, you are the source of this world's magic and they can't replace you. Black woman, your track record is in your blood and that's why they keep trying to erase you. Black woman, they're gonna taint your beauty but promote it and sell it to everyone else. Black woman, they're gonna hate you because your greatest power is the love that you could have for yourself. Black woman, you are the reason the sun of the east shines in the morning when it rises. Black woman, you are the reason the sun of the west touches the waters on the horizon. Black woman, your tears of rage and wrath would fuel the seven seas. Black woman, you could level their lands, reclaim your throne, and they would bow to thee. Black woman, everything that moves came through you, mother first. Black woman, your fear is the byproduct of you not knowing your fucking worth. Black woman, your essence gave birth to the stars that shine in the sky at night. Black woman, everything we've created is going to be in vain if we don't stand up and fight. Black woman, they need to hear our war cry. Black woman, you must let all of them down before you let us die. Black woman, you are the reset. Black woman, I am the revival. Black woman, we are the authors of creation. Do not let them teach you survival.
Something that I've seen quite a bit of, especially in response to the news about Rebecca's account being demonetized, is a lot of, I'm so ashamed, I'm so sorry, I apologize on behalf of my fellow white women, I'm ashamed to be white. We've talked about this before, we're going to touch on it again. I've talked about shame before. Shame is a wasted emotion. It's rooted in fear, and there doesn't need to be fear in what you're discussing, what happened to Rebecca. It's also a very centering thing. I'm so ashamed. I feel so bad. I feel awful about what happened to you. Centering. Another piece is, just like we've talked about, borrowing outrage is a wasted activity and it gets you really nowhere. So is borrowing shame. Because now you're centering, again, yourself on behalf of somebody else who is still not the focus because they are not the person who was harmed. So there's a few things that I want you all to take away from this. Number one, we are all responsible for our own actions. We're responsible for the decisions we make, and we're responsible for the actions that we make in response to those decisions. So borrowing somebody else's shame or apologizing for somebody else doesn't do anything because it doesn't hold the person that caused the harm accountable, and it just comes from somebody else. It doesn't take care of anything. It doesn't address anything. It doesn't solve anything. The next part is a reminder about what to do with your big emotions when you have them. I cannot say enough to get a journal and place those big feelings somewhere else. Because when you place them somewhere else, then you can sit with yourself and think, why do I feel shame for somebody else's behavior? Why am I apologizing on behalf of somebody else? When you sit with that, you might recall some things that you've done in the past that you haven't quite addressed to make sure that you don't do them again. So it gives you a chance to do a little check-in, but not in the way or at the feet of the person that has been harmed. You can do it somewhere else. Because that's essentially what's happening. When you come to us with your I feel so ashamed, or I feel so bad, or I'm so sorry, that is putting all of that stuff at the feet of the person that was harmed. That is now making them think about you having big feelings about what somebody else did. You can have a response to what somebody else did, especially if it made you feel some type of way. Pay attention to that. But pay attention to it in an intentional way so you can actually address it, and that you're not just saying the words hoping to make somebody else feel better. Because it just is not good math to tell somebody, to see somebody that has been harmed, that is going through harm, that is in pain, and to tell them how bad you feel about the pain that they're going through. It's just, it doesn't center the right person or the right thing. This comment says, I don't think it's great to generalize either way. As women, we need each other now more than ever. I hope we can start creating safe spaces for people to have real conversations to unite us. This was left on my video where I was explaining further about the phrase white woman, or the statement white woman, and how people respond to it, etc., etc., etc. I have thoughts. First, my shirt is backwards, but it is from Here for Kids, which is an important initiative. They are working to buy guns from people that have them to get them off the streets to keep kids safe. So check them out. Here for Kids Action is what they're called. Next, I moderated a panel tonight after watching the movie Deconstructing Karen and talking about how liberal white women are the most dangerous people that we have right now because of the power they uphold. And in that movie, there was a woman that was saying that she wanted Syra and Regina to say something different because it was too harsh. And we just need to focus on love and being together and having the uncomfortable conversations, but that Regina and Syra were being resistant to it. And when Regina kept asking, what am I resisting? She just kept saying, you're just being resistant. And so this comment's making me think of that. As you all know, this space is designated for healing and for decolonizing and for helping people become active anti-racist. That is a goal of this space here. That's a goal of what we're all working for, the collective here. So if that's my goal, and one video talks about white women being offended by the phrase white woman, is what is too harsh, or that is too big of a conversation. And what I'm saying about that, what I am saying, that needs to stop so that we can have a safe space for people to have real conversations to unite us. What this person is saying is, Portia, I don't like what you're saying. I don't like what you're saying. I don't like how you're saying it. It's making me uncomfortable and I don't want to hear it. But I also don't want you to think that I don't want to be an active anti-racist. I don't want you to think that I'm not all about all women. So I'm going to tell you that I hope that we can have these conversations to unite us all and for safe spaces and to have real conversations. But the real conversations can't happen by what you are saying, Portia, the person who is an educator on anti-racism and decolonizing, and also you, Portia, as a Black woman in the United States of America. I gave you a lot of information to kind of wrap this up here. You are still treating white women as a slur when it is not a slur, as a descriptor. I know that we had the conversation with white people and people that happen to be white. That's a different conversation. I am speaking to white women right now that fall under both categories, people that happen to be white and white people. But it is not a slur, so you don't have to differentiate yourself, or you don't have to say, I'm not one of those white women. You are who you are. Find your identity in who you are and not who you are not. And lastly, if you want to have a productive conversation about how to unite us all, shutting up a Black woman is the worst possible way to do that. Just as a little tip. this comment says, I cannot understand what a black woman experiences as a black woman because I'm not black. I think what's triggering people is using the term white women like we're all the same. We are not. This is left in the video where I was talking about empathy and the struggle that white women have with understanding what empathy actually is when they're trying to exhibit it or portray it. And just some thoughts. I responded back to this person. I said, are you not white women? And the response was, yes, I am a white woman, but I don't do the things that you described. So that made something click for me. The first thing they understand is that some white women will think of the term white woman as a slur. The minute you call them white, they bristle, they push back, and it's offensive to call a white woman a white woman. And usually when that happens, it's a white woman who is not quite in touch with how they have held or how they have upheld white supremacy in the past and how they have participated in probably racism in the past. So knowing that that's the type of person that usually gets upset with hearing the term white woman, and then having somebody say that yes, they're white, but they don't do the things, it just drives home even more. It drives home even more that you all know what you are capable of doing. You all know the harm that you are capable of causing. And the reason why I know that is because you get upset at what you think is a descriptor of the behavior that you say that you don't do. So we now have behavior that's harmful to other people. We have the fact that white women can identify that behavior that's harmful to other people. We have white women denying that they are part of that, but then getting upset if somebody doesn't say some white women instead of all white women. And then we have the people that are being harmed, sitting around waiting for the harm to stop. Well, white women decipher what's the best way to describe the ones that actually cause harm and the ones that don't. And even if you don't find yourself participating in overt white supremacy and overt racism, if you are pushing back this hard against somebody trying to talk about the fact that it exists, you are causing harm as well.
And I certainly don't think that black people should just expect racism because white people are going to stop being that way. There's plenty of people that are still going to be that way. But just because I'm white or we're white doesn't mean that we are.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. That's literally what that means. Look, my fellow rice cakes, I'm going to say something out loud that you would probably prefer I kept to myself, but we are terrible at self-examination because we are obsessed with being perceived as good. We are good people with good intentions who do good things, and we know that racism is bad, so we're offended by the mere insinuation that we could be capable of dehumanizing anybody. And that line of thinking right there is why we continue to take L's left and right, because you can't confront a problem if you don't acknowledge the problem exists. Listen, you are not evil and bad because you were born white, and no reasonable person is saying that you are. What we're saying is that it is a problem if you don't acknowledge what it means to have been born white in a racist society. It is a problem if you're not willing to examine the privileges, I know we all hate that word, but the privileges, the benefits, and the means of insulation we inherit by virtue of being born white. And it's not that we can't experience other disadvantages, including some that we may share with Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. We can be discriminated against on the basis of our sexuality, our gender, our physical abilities, our economic status. There are plenty of reasons why a given white person might grow up in a shitty situation. But the color of our skin has never, ever, ever, ever been one of those problems. And if you can't say that out loud, then you're being racist. White folks, we have to disabuse ourselves of this notion that to be racist is to walk around throwing out the N-word left and right. That's not what that means. Racism sleeps. Racism waits. Racism is little things that you don't even know that you're doing until somebody tells you about it after the fact. If you could always see racism from space, then we, and by we I mean white people and only white people, wouldn't have been so shocked over the last few years to discover that so many of our loved ones are big old racist bags of shit. Because one, racism is subtle, it sneaks up on you, it manifests in tiny ways, and two, we never had to interrogate those behaviors because we were insulated by racism. Listen, bigotries of all kinds often manifest unconsciously, by accident, and the only way we can catch it, the only way we can be vigilant, is to rely on other people to let us know and then to build our experience around that knowledge. If you can just get comfortable with the fact that prejudice is an inherent part of the human experience, then getting feedback about it will involve a lot fewer tears and heartbreak. In conclusion, my fellow Snowmericans, to be good is to accept your limitations and be okay with being wrong.
So this is all I got from this, and shout out to that woman because she actually came through. It's I don't know where to start from, but let me give you guys a breakdown. You all remember that Rebecca, I brought her here because her account was demonetized. And why did her account get demonetized? Because she actually talked about how majority of black women would rather work with white men than white women. So they got really pissed that the black women would choose white men over them, right? And they got themselves all arranged and massively reported her account, and her account was demonetized, right? And if I tell you that since then that her account got demonetized till this very moment, they are still coming for her. The kind of comments you see on her posts and her videos are really not nice, And you all could see the first video. I guess she was already tired, because if somebody, and then the worst part is that they are still going to come back to tell you that they are not ready to desist. Somebody dropped that comment. Somebody dropped that heartbreaking comment. And a lot of people are, some of them are saying, I don't know why your account is still up. So it means that they have also been working for the account, so they can remove her account completely. What did she do? Because she told them the reality, and which is true. And now, I hope that we have also proven them right, that we are correct based on what we said. Because when people are not ready to listen to what you are saying, some of them are so willing, some of them are so always ready to ask you, what can we do to make you all feel free, or to make you all have better experience. They are so quick to ask that question, but they are never ever ready to put in actions to make themselves better, right? So every day, all they look for a way to get a black woman account going, or do something really not nice. And you see them saying, I am really ashamed of what we have done, and I am ashamed of. See, now they have really confirmed black people's or black women's fear, especially when it comes to working with them, especially when it comes, because the microaggression, the passive aggression, and all that comes with working with them. And most of them, I also brought video of them also white women also saying that they are usually the problem in workplaces. Man, I am really sad, but what can we do? We wake up every day and I don't know, it looks like this is not even ever coming to an end. It looks like it's a circle that we are going to keep running round till the end of time and all that. We are always on this hammering, talking about what is going on. But I thought they told us not to talk about it, because when you do not talk about it, that it's going to go away. But I see how it is going away. All you all want to do is look for a way to get somebody in trouble and all that. Now that you have taken her job away, I hope you all feel better. I hope your life is good. I hope you are having a good time. Because it's only a horrible person who would do that. She did not curse anybody. She did not say something not nice to anybody. She just said it. The majority of black women would rather work with white men than white women because it is easier to work with white men than working with than working with uh, white women. Where did she go wrong? See you all in my next video. Bye for now.